night.
Hi, Sunflower.
Hey, Mama.
How are you, boo-boo?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm so excited to do this.
Me too.
Tell everybody what we did last
Oh
weekend.
my gosh, you guys. I feel like this episode, I'm so excited because I think this is our first episode with guests.
Yeah, I mean, Greg was a little on the side
Mm-hmm.
in a couple of our episodes, but we've never had guests.
And I feel like this is the epitome of who we are and what we love, and that is female friendship and connection. And you get to get an example of what that looks like for us in today's episode, because we recorded our Steel Magnolias episode with the women who in our lives who love it most. And it was so special and magical. We were all together last weekend for my Nani's 90th birthday. Shout out to Nani, HBD girl. And we went to the party, had a great time, and then we had a little after party at Mom and Dad's house. And us girls were like, we're going to record the podcast right now. We didn't even have special microphones, nothing. We just put the cell phone in the middle of a circle and just started having this discussion about Steel Magnolias. And we love that, like, you know, we're outside on the porch, so like the fire is crackling in the background. You can hear all the men inside laughing, watching something on TV. So it's very raw and uncut, but that's how we wanted it to be. So we're very excited to share this with you guys.
It was so just special. It was a really special moment, and I'm so grateful for it. And I didn't share any of the stats or any of the trivia that I wanted to share with them. And that's why we're recording this real quick intro for you guys. So we'll get right to it. So on IMDb, it has a critics rating of 73% and audience rating of 89%. And which is not surprising. However, Elena, some of these reviews, the bad reviews, so, you know, the whatever 20 something % that were bad were scathing. Horrible,
like
terrible reviews.
People love this movie, but the rare few who don't, they don't just not like it, they hate it. And I have come across a few people that are like that.
Like one of these is Jeff Simon from Buffalo News. The result is something grotesque and misshapen. And
that is way harsh.
Way harsh. There are, however, this is Gary Thompson, Philadelphia Daily News. There are, however, too many characters, and consequently, some of the main characters take too long to develop. I disagree with that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, exactly. But it's near and dear to our hearts. It started off as a play, and it was written by the brother of the real life Shelby. And her name is not Shelby, but
what is her name?
He wrote the play based on her life. Oh gosh, now I'm not going to be able to remember her name.
Well, if you want to look that up while you're doing that, I will tell our listeners that. And we may have already said this on here before, but our mom's little fun tidbit about Steel Magnolias is that her cheerleading coach was friends with the real family, the real life family that the movie is based on, and was friends with the Shelby. And I just think that's so cool that you are 1 degree away from this real family.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting because I became close with her in my senior year of high school, and then this movie came out in 1989, which was the year after. But she and I had stayed in touch, and so she had told me that she was friends with her and that she knew the brother. And so I still cannot find her name, but Robert Harling is the author. And Elena, guess what other 2 movies that I adore, one that you adore, he wrote on?
Should I actually guess?
I don't know. You can if you want to.
Give me a hint.
We've done one of them on the podcast.
Okay. Is it Southern?
It is not Southern.
Okay.
but it's about women.
Beaches?
First Wives Club.
That was going to be my next guess.
And guess what other movie he did that I adored that I should have put on my 10 list?
Ooh, what?
And it's got Sally Field in it.
Oh, Soap Dish?
Yes!
Yes!
Yes! Can you believe that?
I love Soap Dish. Oh my gosh.
So you girls, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not seen Soap Dish, it's Sally Field, and she plays a soap opera princess darling, and it's got Elizabeth Shue in it and Robert Klein, and it is hilarious. I love it. I think it's so cheesy. It's the right, Whoopi Goldberg's in it. It's the right kind of stupid.
I showed it to Greg and he loved it.
So good. You got to watch it. You got to watch it. So anyway, ends up that the same director did Soap Dish, and Sally Field almost said no because of his harsh treatment on Steel Magnolias. He was so mean to the actresses.
Oh, I don't like that.
Right. And like reportedly, he said to your girl Dolly.
No, he did not.
After a poor take, this is from IMDb, director Herbert Ross reprimanded Dolly Parton and asked her if she could act. She replied, "No, but it's your job to make me look like I can."
Good on Dolly. God, I love that woman. Oh, and you know, I've seen a couple different interviews from the cast when they were doing touring for the movie. And one that stuck out to me was the whole cast was talking about how amazing Dolly is, and how Julia was saying, like, you know, we'll all be complaining like, oh, it's so hot, we're so tired. And she's like, Dolly refused to join in on our complaining sessions. And I had said to her, Dolly, come on, aren't you a little hot? Aren't you a little tired? Like, just admit it. And Dolly was like, I dreamed my whole life of being in a situation like this and having a life like this, and I refuse to complain because my dream came true, and I want to always be appreciative and grateful of that. And I just think that,
do we not love her? Oh, we love her so much.
Such a testament to her character. I love her so much.
So much. I want to live in a Dolly world. So, they also, I mean, they said that he treated everyone poorly to the point where Julia Roberts was in tears. Now, I did find it interesting. Again, this is in the trivia section on IMDb, that they originally wanted, Meg Ryan was under contract to play Shelby, but the producers let her out so that she could be Sally in When Harry Met Sally.
Oh, and that's just so meant to be, because I can't imagine anyone else playing Sally, and I cannot imagine anyone else playing Shelby.
No, absolutely not. They are exactly where they were supposed to be. So the original play was set where everything took place in Truvy's beauty shop, and the men were not in the play. There were no male characters in the play. So that all came to pass in the dawning of the movie. But we're going to let everything else. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Elena?
No, I'm just going to let you guys listen into our conversation.
Yep. So listen into our conversation. Elena, do we have any idea what's on tap for next?
No, I think we said we're not going to, we're going to stop doing the habit of saying what we're doing next, because 9 times out of 10, our plans will change.
So we will see you when we see you, but we love you and we thank you for listening, and we hope you enjoy this episode.
Yep. Love you guys.
And we're sitting here with Michaela, my sister-in-law that you guys have heard about, and her daughter, Lila.
What she said about me.
That we love you.
You don't know? You don't listen to the podcast?
Listening.
Well, then you can go inside.
I've heard 1 or 2, but I haven't listened to them all.
You know, well, you're a little bit busy.
I am a little
Busy
bit
bee.
You're a busy bee, some might say.
Some might say I have a necklace that's a busy bee.
Busy bee. And
now, none of the listeners are going to know what that's about.
No,
so
but that's
I
okay.
apologize for that.
That's all right. And Lila's here, her daughter, my niece.
Yes.
And my best friend, Lisa, who you guys have heard about, which she wouldn't know about that either.
I know.
You do? Because I told you.
I listen.
You listen to every single one?
Not every single one.
Okay, see now?
But here's the thing. I want to.
Okay.
Here's the thing.
And what's keeping you from doing that? You're busy too. Okay.
But
But this is our
she has a busy bee necklace.
busy bee necklace as well.
I have a brooch. It's a
She does. She actually does.
It's a very big bee.
This is a very big bee. But we are discussing Steel Magnolias. Now, to be fair, I have not prepped the girls on what I'm going to ask them.
It's all exciting.
So they are on pins and needles, so excited to talk about what's happening about Steel Magnolias. So, ladies, anyone is free to jump in at any time, but if you do not answer, I will put you on the spot. So you may want to just... Okay.
Lila get to talking.
So,
Jeez.
the first thing I would like to know is when you first saw Steel Magnolias.
I can go first.
Go ahead.
I don't remember. I think it was with Mom, probably. Because I remember distinctly Aunt Kira getting mad that I watched it for the first time without her.
That is
You
true.
probably did it Irish
I
goodbye.
really feel like Elena was with us.
It might have been when we were staying here
It
one
was.
time, and I think the three of us were out here. You went to bed early. You
I
kinda
wonder
just
why.
left.
Irish goodbye.
Irish goodbye. Mm-hmm.
You needed a nap.
I need an appetizer,
Yeah,
as
love an
some might
appetizer.
say. Yeah.
And,
And
the three of us stayed up and
We
watched
watched it, and I've seen it like maybe 4 or 5 times now after, and I'm spreading the agenda to my friends.
Yes.
I made my roommate watch it, and she's convinced that she's Weeza, so.
Yes.
I love it.
And we're going to, yeah. I would like to know your first impressions.
Oh, I loved it. I mean, like, I'll probably talk about this later, but it reminds me so much of this family, specifically, like, the friends, and, like, like, my mom, and you, and Lisa, and Melanie, is that her name? Like, everyone who was there for that bachelorette weekend from
Oh, yeah.
That's
Totally.
what that reminds me of. Just a very good core group, like, a good sisterhood.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that.
So
but
good.
not of the traveling pants.
No. That's a great movie, too. But that's
By
what...
the way, she's apparently watched that without you.
Okay. It's all right. I mean,
I haven't seen Yaya.
you can just do a... Okay.
Oh,
yes.
that'll be
Yes,
ours.
that's, you can't, yeah, you have to watch that.
That you got to promise me.
I will, that'll be ours.
Ladies, how about you?
So I actually first watched the play. The college I went to, Peace College,
You.
did
Wow.
a play of Steel
That's
Magnolias.
the original version.
Yes,
of
it
it.
that
was a
my
play
mom
first.
came with me to.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
Lisa.
She was actually already sick. My mom, who you all know, passed
You
away from
are
cancer.
kidding.
And we saw the play put on by. I mean, it was a small college. And,
Lisa.
yep. And so
Wow.
I didn't fully appreciate it because, of course, I had my mom with me. But then fast forward, only maybe not even a full year later, my mom passed away. Then the movie came out, and we went in, I believe it was on Christmas break, right after she had passed away in November.
Wow.
And it was Kira and me, my dad. Who else came with
My
us?
mom.
Your mom.
And your sister.
Okay. And we
Oh
all
my
went to
gosh.
see it. And the impact of it then, now having lost my mom, was very powerful and just almost like gut wrenching. I remember sitting there, like we couldn't even really leave after the movie because we all just were sitting there kind of numb and emotional from, yeah. So it was a tough one. And there was a girl from high school. Do you remember this? I don't remember her name, but she was there and she was like, kind of like, she tried to talk to us, but none of us could really engage with her.
Or like, not right now.
Yeah.
Shut up and
Yeah.
walk away.
Like now,
Uh-huh.
not now. But yeah, it was pretty powerful. So I've seen it multiple times since then. Every time, same visceral response, just emotional, gut wrenching. But I love the laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. That
There you
word,
go.
because it is. I mean, you laugh, you cry. It's just a very, like, I don't know. It's such a powerful experience, I think, to watch it because of all the emotions it stirs up in you.
Mick?
Yeah, I don't think I can follow that. Like,
But it's your favorite movie.
Michaela, just try.
I watched it on VHS with my mom.
Oh my God.
Watch it with your mom.
Lisa! Michaela, it was so good.
It was very touching.
Okay.
What did you already know about it when you, because
I knew
obviously
nothing.
you didn't see it in the theater, so.
Yeah, no, I knew nothing.
Really?
Yeah, I had watched Terms of Endearment, which, by the way, that's
let's
another
not
one.
even
Lord, no.
Y'all haven't done that one.
Give her the shot.
Give my daughter the
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Yes. Yes, we won't go down Terms of Endearment rabbit hole. But yeah, I had seen that with my mom, and then she was like, oh, we gotta watch Steel Magnolias. I think she had maybe seen it, the play. I don't know when, but she may have seen it. And then she was like, oh, no, you should watch
She
it.
came
And
to college with me and saw it.
she did. She was at Peace College. That was the other lady that was with you.
I remember.
Yeah.
To my right.
So, yeah, exactly. So that's it. I mean, it was somewhat uneventful, in terms of, certainly nothing like Lisa's experience.
But the impact, like, what was it that did you fall in love with it immediately? Was it something that, like, the more you watched it, the more?
For me, it was probably the more I watched it. And I don't know why. I mean, yes, it was a powerful movie, and I'm sure I cried, at the appropriate times that that we all cry at. But I think it probably, it was not, I don't want to say it grew on me, because it was a good movie to start with, but I just think as I watched it more and more, parts of it resonated with me more than, other times it had, and, and just the characters are impactful on your life. They change how you think about yourself.
So
I think.
true.
I think
So
I think
good.
they do. And so I think the more times I've seen it, gosh, I can't even count the number of times I've watched it. And I just think the more times I see it, the more times I'm like, oh man, I love that part of Weezer, or I love that aspect of Malin, and drum, come on now, let's so.
So, okay, so then my follow-up question is, do you have somebody that you're like, you know who you are in the group that's sitting here?
Yeah.
And who is your favorite character, not who you identify with, but who is your favorite character and why?
Lila?
Well, I love Truby because Dolly. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
So good. Yes.
Because Dolly Parton is everything.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That's really difficult for me. I actually can't, because maybe the mom.
Malin.
And yeah. Just because she reminds me so much of my mom, especially, I'm gonna cry, especially the speech at the end, because I know my mom would run to Texas and back for me. And so every time
she never could.
every time we get to that part, I'm like, this is exactly the type of stuff that my mom says about me and my brother all the time. And so and then
She's
seeing
got that fierce.
Yes.
She's
Yeah.
got, her
Exactly.
tag
She
is
is.
Mama Bear, and
Yeah.
that is who she is.
Yeah.
Yes,
She
absolutely.
truly is.
All of the pod world knows my tag.
Well, they only
It's not the
They
full
don't know the
tag.
full
It's not the full
tag.
tag. I didn't give the full tag.
That's okay, we have 3 listeners, so don't worry. You're
And,
free.
and they already have your.
They already all follow
And
you.
you're one of them. I'm the other.
Yeah, literally, it's the people
And
right
it's
here.
Maria.
And
That's
Maria.
it. That's it.
And Jess.
You're safe.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah, I just think that the strength, all of these women in this movie have just incredible strength in their characters, but I think just Malin's strength in general, and just the way that she's by Shelby's bedside the whole time.
Yeah,
Yes.
I never
It's
left.
Was there when
I
that
mean-
beautiful creature came
Yes.
into the world?
Yeah.
Yes.
It reminds me of
What if
how,
I leave for 5 minutes and
Yeah.
she wakes up and I'm not
It
here?
reminds me of how my mom was with her mom. I mean, when I was younger and when Grandma was, like, on her way out, that's a terrible way to put it, but, like, we'd be visiting the hospital all the time. We'd have to, make Mom go home or make Mom eat. And just, it's a testament to how great my mother is. And I see that in Malin's character.
Beautiful.
So I guess we'll say that Malin is my favorite.
Now, let me ask you a question. Is your mom's personality Malin, or who is she?
Kira is trying to say.
I'm not saying it.
I'm pretty sure. I'm
No,
pretty
ma'am.
sure your mother is really a lot like Weezer. I'm
Yeah,
just gonna put it out
Just
there.
a tiny bit.
That was a leading question, but yes. When I think of who my mom is in terms of just upfront personality, yes, my mother is Weezer.
Yeah.
And yes, she does
Piggly
yell at my
Wiggly.
father like he is Drum.
I smiled at the son of a bitch.
Before I can help myself.
What more do you want?
What's the name of the Owen? Is that
Yes.
him at the
Yeah.
end?
Yes,
That is
yes,
also
yes.
Mom and Dad, is Weezer and Owen.
Yes.
Oh, that's funny.
You remember me?
That's awesome.
Hey, Weezer.
Hey, Weezer, remember me?
I love it.
That's Charles. That's Charles.
So cute.
Oh my god.
All right, Meg. Who's your favorite character?
That's tough. I mean, I think Lila's right. I'm probably, if anybody's going to call me any of these women in any friend group, I'm going to be Weezer. I mean, there's just no chance I'm not anything but that. But I think Lila's right. I mean, in terms of me, my personality, who I am, I'm a mix of Weezer and Malin. But in terms of my favorite character, gosh. That's tough. I mean, it really is hard. I mean, I might say Shelby. You know, I mean, just
How do you not love her?
Yeah, but for what reason? I'm just curious.
yeah. I think it's just going after what she wanted.
Yes.
No matter what.
Oh,
I love that.
I can see
Just
that.
not just, you know, I understand you're telling me it's not what I'm supposed to be doing, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I want 10 seconds of wonderful instead of a lifetime,
Lifetime of
of
nothing
being
special.
Like, that's
Beautiful.
important. That's
Yeah.
important.
So, is there a person here that's sitting here that you can go and you are?
Gosh. Well, Lisa's clearly Clary.
Clary.
She is.
You still are in the
She
football locker room.
Oh, come on.
interviewing
You
all the
think-
guys.
I
When
see,
she's like,
I
and
would-
would you call that grape or
Aubergine.
aubergine?
I feel like I'm
And
totally.
Weezer's going, nobody gives a shit about the
That's a color
Yes,
of your
I
game. I feel like I'm so
You're
Malin.
making a fool out of yourself, Clary.
Am I not Malin?
I would say you're either Clary or Dolly.
Really? Now that is
You're not Malin,
fascinating.
and I'll tell you why.
As a mother, you're all Malin.
Yeah.
But personality-wise.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
as
Yeah.
a mother, because
Yes.
I do. I feel
Right,
like
because I think as a mother, I'm Malin. Like,
yeah,
there's no
we
chance
all
I'm
think
not.
that. Like
Yes.
this
I'm
fierceness.
not. I'm Weezer as a mom.
No, you're
No, you're not.
You treat your kids like she treats her dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Strap
No,
into the tree.
I guess I feel like I relate to Malin more because as a mom, I
Yeah.
feel like that same, you know,
Yeah.
like by the bedside.
But that joy of Dolly Parton is you.
Yeah.
interesting. I would have
And the spunkiness of Clary
Yeah.
Yeah.
is you.
That's true.
interesting. Well, I mean, I'll take all of that. I mean, that's,
Yeah.
I have no identity. I'm one of. I have multiple personalities.
Personality.
No, I don't know. But I guess who I like the most is Malin because she's practical, but she fiercely loves her family. I don't know. So I feel like she's my favorite. Although I do, what you said about Shelby, I do love that she goes after what she wants. And obviously, y'all know I'm a Julia Roberts mega fan.
No, I'm a huge fan.
Mega fan.
I mean, do you go all the way back to Mystic Pizza? Can you
Yes.
quote Mystic
Oh,
Pizza?
I can
Oh.
so quote Mystic Pizza. Are you kidding
Yes,
me? I've
ma'am.
watched it a million times.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm just checking.
Yes,
Just
totally.
checking.
Yes, mega fan for Julia Roberts. But I'll take the fact that you see Truvy in me as a huge compliment.
Yeah.
Because what's not to love about her?
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
even
this.
I feel like Truvy is Dolly Parton, like
Yeah.
her
Yes.
personality,
Yes.
and I feel like that's
And I
you.
do love her
Hospitality
so
and
much.
just fun,
Hosting
and
everybody.
accepting. Yeah,
Yeah.
How about you?
I
Favorite
love that.
character?
my favorite character is also who I see myself in, and that's a Nell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Interesting.
Really?
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what? I totally see it too.
Elena,
Oh, yeah.
I would have
I
mean,
never
really?
thought that.
Oh, yeah, no.
I mean, I love all of them.
Right.
Like, I love them together. I love them individually, but I feel like Nell is me, where it's like, first I'm shy, then I'm out there, and then
Right.
I'm, I can be both. And so
I like it.
I
Mhm.
do kind of feel like I just love her. I love Daryl Hannah, and
Yeah.
I mean, I love the whole cast. But that's
Such a
my
perfectly
favorite.
cast.
And I
movie,
mean,
too.
yeah, I think I see a little bit of everybody in all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
for
sure.
Who would you say?
Is my favorite character?
Yeah, and if there's anyone you see as someone.
Well, Mix Weezer.
Really?
Weezer. Although I will say, as you've aged, you're.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, in a
As you've gotten to be an older
In your
person,
old age.
there's
as your hair is
we're
gotten
all
grayer.
aging. You've aged. Lila's aged, and everybody's aging. I think you're becoming more of Clary.
Really?
I do.
I do. You're mellowing out.
Wow, that's a statement from my daughter.
Well, you've got your plants that you take care of, and you work
Clary
from home
has
a
no
lot,
plants.
and you've got.
By the way,
your dogs.
Weezer, she has a garden. She
has
got all
a
these.
garden.
I got all these tomatoes, Malin.
Yeah, but
What is it?
Bam. Bam.
It's what old Southern ladies do. I didn't make
wear
the rules.
With her little mustache.
We wear
Wow.
bunny hats.
I didn't.
We wear
Bunny
bunny
hats,
hats and
we
we grow
garden.
tomatoes.
Just take them.
Who's your favorite character?
I think it's Malin. I'm like the girls, okay? I've got that mom part of me that's like, but I don't like the way that she handled the situation initially when she finds out that
She's pregnant.
she's pregnant.
Yes.
But I can understand.
Yeah. 'Cause
This
that's
is
her
my
baby.
first concern,
Right.
and I,
Yeah.
so I get that. But I probably would have been sobbing. She was defensive, and so I guess that kind of goes against me. But at the core, who I enjoy watching the most is Dolly.
Yeah.
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 You know,
I do that.
But what a testimony to an ensemble cast that
Yeah.
we're all having such a hard time
Yes.
choosing.
Who we love the
Well, and
most.
speaking of Dolly, really quick, I want to give a shout out to our favorite Designing Women episode. Is when they go
Sugar
see Steel Magnolias,
Charlene is
and Charlene gives birth to what's her baby's name? Emma, not Emma.
Olivia.
Olivia. But in her dream, Dolly is her guardian angel.
And so Dolly's in the
In
whole
the
episode, and it's a
episode.
double
So
episode because Charlene gives birth. And at the same
We
time,
sob, yeah.
we sobbed the whole time because they're waiting in the hospital, and back then you couldn't just be in the
Yeah.
room like we all were with each other. And so,
They end up in this woman who's passing away, her room.
and she passes away at the same moment that Olivia's born.
I
So
remember that.
Dolly takes
Yes.
her into heaven.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
And we're both like, I want Dolly Parton to be my guardian angel.
Right? Who doesn't? Who
I mean-
doesn't?
And the
want
reason
that?
it's in her dream is because they went and saw Steel Magnolias
Right.
that
Oh.
day. So, yeah.
That's so awesome.
So-
Try to give a shout out to that episode.
yeah.
I have a question for the group, but mainly for Lila and Elena, which is, and I think Lila's already spoken to it a little bit, but did watching the movie at y'all's age change your perspective on motherhood?
I'll let you go first.
I think, yeah, I also think it changed my perspective on parenting being singular because, we don't see them, Shelby and them as younger, but even in the end, in the Easter scene where they're all taking care of, is the baby, his name's
Jack.
Jack? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all taking care of Jack like he's their own. Their family is not just the two people that were involved in your birth, but it's the entirety of the community who's around you, regardless of blood relation or not.
It takes a village.
Yeah, exactly. And that really made me believe that. I think this movie was just that was my turning point, I guess. And I don't remember how old I was when I watched it, probably early high school.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And it was just wow, here's all this love that I feel for my family being exemplified in something that my family loves. And so it has just become this central piece of media for how I think about my family, both blood related and not. Just I think it just changed how I view connection and how
Ooh, that's
deep
powerful.
that can be with other people. And just even the scene when they're at the Christmas party and Malin's she's pregnant and they're all sitting there with their hands and then they do the little
Lila.
hand
Love
stab.
that.
That is the core of what I think humanity and community really is. Is like you said, the laughter through the tears. I mean, they're obviously all so upset because they know the risk of her being pregnant, but also what a joy it is because Shelby is so excited to have a baby. And just being able to be there and support each other through that.
Unconditionally.
Yeah,
I
is
love
great.
that.
That's an excellent way of saying
It
it.
is. It's so beautiful.
You're screwed.
It would have
Follow that up.
Wouldn't it have been lovely to have been there at that seminal moment for her?
Hey, don't do that to her.
We
Have
went
we
without
watched
you.
it
We should have
together?
done that without you.
Have
We
you
should
and I
done
watched it
without you.
together at all?
No, you guys have never
We
seen it
watched
together.
it at your birthday.
Her
when she went to
50th
bed.
birthday, but I went to bed.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's always
And back then was not because
No,
You
I
were
know.
sober.
but I was sober
You were
then.
sober.
I
That's
was
what I'm
not- I
saying.
did an
Tired.
Irish goodbye on that
It
one.
was not an Irish
You
goodbye.
were just sleepy.
Yes.
Oh
How
yeah,
about you?
because Dad.
Remember, and we had Olivia watching it too with us.
Oh yeah, it was actually really interesting to hear Olivia's take.
Yes.
Because she was like, why would you have a child if you know you're going to die?
I was going to bring that
But
up.
I think that's such an interesting point.
I feel like
Well,
she would also think differently now, knowing her. I think just a little bit as we've gotten older.
The
but-
research that I've done, that's one of the big, huge complaints from the critics and from the audience. And I mean, it's based on a true story. We've talked about it before. My cheerleading coach was friends with the real Shelby.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
But there's a whole school of thought out there. I had decided not to go there. I was like, you know what, we're not going to talk about that. But what
Of the ethics of her choosing to have
I
a
mean,
baby.
because it did happen. It's a true story. And so there's no point in debating
I
it.
agree.
It
I
happened.
agree.
So, but what did it change your view on motherhood or relationships? Like,
I think it formed my view because as far as like my first time of watching it, I couldn't tell you. Like that movie has just always been there. You know,
Okay.
I don't know the first time I ever watched it. But 100% I think it's influential even now in my life because I am at a point where y'all know the world. I'm like, is it bad for me to bring a child into this world because I've been married for 5 years and we do want to potentially have kids one day, whether that's biologically or through adoption or whatever. And I do feel impact from Shelby's line of I'd rather have 15 minutes of wonderful than a lifetime of nothing special. And yeah, life is hard. And every person who's been through life has experienced trauma and challenges, but that's just a part of life. And the beauty of that connection in motherhood, and we were talking about, me and Aunt Lisa were talking about mothers and daughters today, just even observing moms and daughters at the nail salon,
Right.
and how just beautiful and unexplainable that relationship is. I know that in my heart of hearts, whether I decide ethically what feels right for me, either adopting or having my own, I know I want to be a mother. And movies like this, very much this movie, makes me know I want to have that kind
Experience
of relationship
that,
in my life.
That-
Yeah. I want to be a parent. Whether that's a child that's already here, and
Right.
so they're here now, so they need someone to take care of them, or I bring a child into this
Right.
world.
Yeah, feel the same way.
that's really
so-
powerful.
That's so sweet. I love that.
What would y'all say?
When we first saw it, was like what Lisa said. That was the first time I saw it too. To be honest, without sounding cheesy, I think I watched it and went, this is real. This is real. And it's not just us that
You mean the relationships are
these
real.
relationships exist, and it can be for a lifetime, and that there's nuances in all of it. From in other words, sort of in a way to what Lila was saying. I think I've already said this on an episode. I know I have. I don't know that the two of you heard it because you don't listen. But
I bet you it's one I listened to. Was it recent?
I was talking about the bachelorette party and what a joy it was for me, that my heart was full to be able to look at my girls and their girls, because so many of the women that came, they brought their daughters, and they're Elena's people. But that one day when we were sitting out on the deck, and I was like,
You named us
I
all.
can look exactly and go, this is the role
Yeah.
you fill.
Yeah.
And how incredibly blessed I am that it's so varied but so necessary. I'm like, oh, I know exactly what you
Right.
bring.
Right.
And isn't that the beauty of that collaboration of those women?
The
is
village.
you are this person
Yeah.
and this is the role you
1000%.
play. And so to me, that's what it was. I like looking at it and going, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing, this collaboration.
I love that.
What'd you
So
think?
good. I mean, I think for me, having lost my mom at an earlier age, I think and Laney and I were talking about this today. Like,
I just love the fact that they had all these conversations.
I
with
mean,
Abby.
isn't it nice?
What is it? Everybody is having stuff with
It's because
Abby.
you always gotta be sleeping, girl.
It's true. I was taking a
Is that
nap.
what's
She's
going
not
on?
You were
wrong.
invited.
Hey, I wasn't sleeping and no one called
You
me.
were invited for the pedicure.
I'd like to have my nails done,
Aw.
but thank you. That
I
was
didn't
nice,
even-
Lisa.
I'm sorry.
I know. Sorry, that's
Lena,
not
I
us.
forgive you. You know how much I love you.
We went to get
You
my
said, "I
oil
hate
change.
you."
Actually, we went to try to find a place to get my oil.
And
changed.
you just rolled up at a manicure
Well, we
shop?
couldn't
They're
find
not going to be able to change your oil, Lisa.
I know. I found that out.
maybe.
I found that out the hard way, Michaela. But I did get a nice pedicure.
But look at my
I know,
pedicure.
my
my
nails
toes.
look great. No, it wasn't an oil change. It was inspection that expired a month ago. That's okay.
Staying on top of your stuff.
So, but I think so. We were talking about today at the nail salon that because I lost my mom when I was 19, I so desperately want for my daughter to have the experiences of getting married, of having her first child, of having me there for the, like, I want it for
Yes.
her more than I even want it for myself. Because, I mean, I got through it. I did it.
You know that
I
loss.
didn't love it, right. But I don't want her to know what that feels like, to not have your mom there for those major life events. So I think that, I know, Lou, it does. It makes me so
emotional.
it makes me so emotional too, just because I can't imagine, and I feel so blessed, as you are with your mom and Lila is with Mick, to have that mother-daughter relationship is so, and I'm fascinated, and I'm in awe of the relationships between mothers and daughters, and even the ones that maybe struggle a little bit. Like, I'm fascinated with, what's the movie with, oh gosh, now I'm going to lose my mind. It's, can you say
Now
Asian?
you are.
I know. Can you say Asian? Is that appropriate?
You can say Asian.
Okay, it's oh my gosh.
Oh, everything.
Everything, everywhere, all
No.
at once.
It's not that one. You know, it's
Crazy
older.
Rich.
No,
No.
it's even older than that.
Oh, older than that.
Oh my gosh, it's a total mother-daughter
Joy Luck Club?
Joy Luck Club.
Oh, Joy Luck.
Yes,
I've never
thank
seen that.
you.
I've never seen it,
So
yeah.
powerful. You haven't. It's such
No.
a powerful.
I haven't either, and I haven't read the book.
Yeah.
It's a powerful, like, mother-daughter relationship, and the dynamic is somewhat dysfunctional, but also powerful and beautiful. And anyway, so I'm fascinated with that, and I think more so having lost my mom, I am just,
and at such a young age, before your big life event.
yeah.
Before you got married,
Yeah.
anything.
And so I'm just so, like, desperate for her to have these moments so that I can be there for them, because you never know. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, Jameson, if you're listening, we need to get busy.
I know, right?
Derek, if you're listening.
I know,
Derek,
Apple,
yeah.
if you're listening. I'm just.
Then you're not making me go after her. We're switching seats. Because this is not. I mean, how does one follow that?
Mick, you
How
got
does
this.
one follow that?
Everybody's voice counts.
It's-
I understand, but I watched it on a VHS tape with my mom the first
But
time.
you watched it with your mom. for the
I
first
did
time.
watch it with my mom, but it did not have the impact it probably had for me. It took more viewings of it over time. for
Yeah,
it to
so
have-
what has been the big takeaway for you?
Because isn't it your favorite movie?
Yeah, all time.
Yeah.
Easily.
That is awesome, Mick.
I mean, gosh, there's so many takeaways. How do you narrow it down?
Yeah.
It's everything you guys have already said. It's this community of women that surround you and prop you up, pick you up, care for you when you need it, tell you straight up, you don't listen, we're not behaving like this, right? I mean, Anel got a talking to,
Yes.
so that you care enough to do that. And that's important to have around you. And it shifts over time.
Yeah, we're good.
It shifts over time.
So, hey guys, so what just happened there is Lisa kicked the phone during the most poignant part of my speech. After
So
I
sorry.
had to follow
I'm sorry.
the most beautiful response that she's given. So now I've got to refocus. So thank you, Lisa.
You're
It's like,
fine.
I'm gonna cut you off. Bam.
I'm not interested in what you have to say. Okay, I'm just gonna knock you off the arm there. Yeah. Now I've lost my focus.
sorry.
Lisa, help me.
Community, powerful community.
Yes, it's important. So I mean that's probably the biggest takeaway. Do I think that I could name, individual people and say, oh, this is the full cadre of individuals that I have around me? Probably not. I mean, I think everybody shifts over time. Like, I think you're Clary today, but, in
Oh, that's a good point.
in a month's
Yeah.
time, I might be like, Lisa's really more like, Weezer to me right now. And so I just think, I
after knocking off the phone. She's definitely Weezer.
Maybe in the last 30 seconds she moved to Weezer.
She started off as Sweet Malin. Now she's definitely Weezer.
That's correct. But so I just think that is probably the biggest takeaway for me is that having that around you. Certainly, the relationship of Malin and Shelby. That's hands down. That's to me. That's probably the number one thing I take away from it, and it's how. Yes, my moniker is in part Mama Bear. It's like that because that's who I am, and I am Shelby through and through to both my kids, and so we all are. Malin. Sorry, excuse me. I'm Malin.
But also
to both my
Shelby.
kids.
She gave her literal life for her child.
True.
Yes.
True. That's very true. That's a good point. But yeah, so I those are probably I'm just repeating everything that everyone else said, but I think it is an amazingly powerful film to watch. I first saw it when I was a teenager, watched it through my 20s, watched it through my 30s, watched it with my children.
Holds up. Yep.
Yeah, it really does. It really does.
So my last question is favorite lines.
Oh gosh, that's too hard.
Pick
scene.
Or favorite scenes. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, favorite scenes. Yep. Either one.
Oh, I like the scene where Shelby's freaking out about the boys tying condoms to her car. She was
yes.
like, Mama, the rubbers!
The rubbers!
That one's always great. Honestly, I like the serious scenes with Dolly and her husband.
That's a great point.
Yeah. It is underrated,
their
Lila.
relationship.
All she's looking for is love and
Validation.
Validation.
And they
Connection.
finally get their stuff together. And
it's not validation. It's connection. Elena's got it. It's not
Yeah.
validation. It is connection.
in the end, when he buys her the
Truby's
second,
West.
You're a franchise.
And he says about Jackson. Right, that's her husband?
Yes.
He goes, I feel so bad for
him.
Jackson. I don't know what I would do without you.
Yes.
And I'm like, wow.
Don't know what I would do if that happened to me.
I feel like those are kind of that whole arc is kind of underrated because it goes, it's on the sidelines. I think, to the big storyline.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
And I
So
love
good.
everything, but I think if I had to pick like a little niche moment, plus I love Dolly Parton. I said it already. I literally have a sticker on my car that says "What would Dolly do?"
I have a honk if you love Dolly on my
I have
car.
a Dollywood keychain on my car keys.
So what you're saying is
just-
you're biased.
Yeah, I am
I'm a little biased,
but I
but
just
that's
think
okay.
that she's an incredible actress, and you should take her seriously in this movie. It's not just so fun and bubbly. Like, she is a very complicated character, and it's great to just watch her be the rock for a lot of these women. Like, I mean, just the institution of a hair salon.
Yeah,
Yes, that's a great
her
point.
place is like the physical, like
Manifestation
Yeah.
of
Yeah, and so I like Dolly's scenes. I think is where I'm at. I also just blush and bashful, and the whole church sprayed down. It looks like the whole church was sprayed down with Pepto Bismol.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like iconic.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go next because
Is she?
I
don't.
first of all, I want to say how grateful I am to hear Lila's perspective specifically about the movie, because you have pointed out things that were forgotten or were
Right, that's a good point.
somewhat dismissed, and I'm so grateful to hear your perspective, and
Thank you.
and it just raises my awareness. Like I got welled up going, oh my gosh, yeah, I hadn't even considered that his relation, Dolly's husband, I don't even remember his name, Drum, right?
No, that's
that's Malin's. What is her
forget
husband's
his
name?
name.
See, how sad is it? We don't even know.
I'll look
but
it up.
Yeah.
but yet I don't know. I'm so grateful to hear your perspective on that. And, my favorite lines are laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. I love you more than my luggage.
No, sure. Hit her, Milan. We'll sell T-shirts.
I know.
Hit
drink your
Weezer
juice,
Show.
Those are probably my two favorite lines. The ones I use like throughout daily, like everyday life. Like I love you more than my luggage, or laughter through tears is my favorite emotion. Favorite scene for me was when Malin pulled up at the aunt's house and Jackson came running out to her after she drove from the hospital. She left her child who had just died, and the first thing she thought to do was to go get her daughter's son, and him running into her arms, and that was where she found her comfort, was that I know. I'm sorry. I know.
It's such a sweet scene.
It
It's
was.
so
I
sweet, and
know.
he's so
Gets her
happy.
grandbaby.
He's so happy
And
running.
it's just, like she had to have that. It was a piece of her daughter.
There's no chance that wouldn't be what I would do.
Yeah, it was
100%.
It was that she needed
You
that
gotta have that
tangible,
comfort.
that tangible part of her daughter, and yeah. So that would probably be my favorite scene. And I love the drink your juice, Shelby, drink your juice. Don't talk about me like I'm not here. Just that, I don't know, just how they all jumped into action, a group of women, and you've got one who's struggling,
No,
and they
it's
all
gotta be orange juice.
they all knew just what to do. I don't know. I mean, all the hair salon moments were,
Yeah, Delilah's point. Like
Amazing.
that's the whole,
Yeah.
that's the hub.
that is the hub. And when I saw the play with my mom, that's what the scene, the whole entire play was set
In the hair
salon.
salon. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
So that was definitely the hub. But yeah, so
Mickadoodle, favorite scene or
His
favorite
name was
lines?
Spud, by the way.
Spud.
Spud.
thank you, Lou. Thank
On
you.
a chain.
Spud.
I mean, that's morbid, but it's gotta be gravesite.
Yeah.
The whole thing, start to
powerful.
finish.
Yes, so
Start to
powerful.
finish.
No, very
Because
good.
it's funny at the end,
Laughter through tears.
It's just,
They did it in one take.
yeah.
That's amazing. They did?
She
Yep.
did it in one take.
Yep.
Wow.
She did that whole speech.
Bless her.
My daughter could.
It's just a testament to Sally Field.
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
so mad.
So what
Wow.
favorite lines?
The whole speech
Uh,
at the
That
closing.
whole speech. But that scene and the speech,
Yeah.
that's your favorite.
Yeah, probably.
That's true.
It's just, I mean, it's the entire, you want to sum up all of our views towards motherhood. That's it.
Yeah, that is it.
Yeah.
so good.
That's
Yeah.
it. If you couldn't explain to somebody who's never
Yeah.
going to hear it, that's it.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Favorite lines?
my favorite lines are what you guys have already said. I mean, I do. I think one of my favorites is when Dolly says, "Oh, Malin, we can't do anything about that. So why don't we just focus on the joy of the situation?" When they're talking about the fact that she's going to have the baby.
Was that at the Christmas party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless her.
She's like, I know what the doctors are saying, but let's focus on the joy. And I'm
That's
like,
sweet.
Dolly, because it
like
reminds
that
me so much of my mom.
Oh,
Star
You
would
know,
be
like
100%
Star would be
like
like
that.
and I think that's why I kind of have an edge with Malin's initial reaction, is because Star would have just been like, "Oh, we can't do anything. Let's just be joyful."
You know what? I'm gonna contradict that though. I actually see a lot of grandma in Malin.
Me too.
And
100%. Lou.
I mean, I think about, not to bring up a controversial thing, but when Miles was conceived, and
Star
she
was not happy.
Yeah, and so I kind of feel like that was
True.
her Malin moment. Was like,
True.
why mess with fate and whatever. And
Yeah.
so I
You're
do
right.
see from
You're
a
right.
practicality
yes.
perspective.
Yes.
Malin reminds me a lot of
Yeah.
Grandma.
Okay.
Star.
100%.
But
Okay.
she also had another side to her that was like Truvy, where it's like, let's look at the good of the situation. So,
Yeah, but you're right. You're right.
but I see both sides.
I like the reception.
The wedding
Reception. I love the
Two
and
Two
Yeah.
pigs fighting under a
Pigs
blanket.
fighting under a blanket. There's some great one-liners in that whole
Yep.
sequence. That I like the fact that when she sits down to her at the Christmas party and she says something hateful and she goes, "You know what they say? If you can't say something nice, come sit by me." That's a great
So
one. I
good.
love the aunt when making the cakes and
Oh,
she's
the
like,
armadillo.
"It's not hard. I can make everything except for snakes. I don't have the counter space."
Yes.
That's
Also,
so good.
all of those. How about you? How about you, Alina?
I can't even, there's so many. You could quote the whole movie.
Yeah.
But, favorite scenes, it's so random, but I love, the Christmas market scene.
Oh, me too.
I just love it.
I
We
do
get to
too.
kind of see their community.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that too.
And I love when Annelle's in her spicy phase.
Oh,
She's
yes.
like, I dropped a contact.
Yeah,
she's
I
like,
know.
nobody
Nobody moves.
I love when
I
she's
do
in her
too.
edgy phase. and
Yeah.
she's
Oh,
got
I
her
love
hair-
it when she's like, "I did all of this myself and hit my wreath that I made out of all the reclaimed baby Jesus."
Yes.
Like, no.
I love it. I love all of them. It reminds
Yeah.
me of everyone. Like Lila was saying, it's like, this is my family.
Yeah.
And this is my family friends. Like, it just feels like home when I watch this movie.
Yeah.
That's exactly how I would
comforting.
put it. And it's so great to be able to share that with like my friends and stuff and be like, oh yeah, well my Aunt Kira is like that, or oh yeah, that's my mom, or like any other.
Who do you identify me with?
Oh, come on now, you know.
No.
I don't know.
Oh, I thought you did.
I don't know. I mean, like, I'll just hear a line and I'll be like, oh, that sounds like something that
Oh,
would be
okay.
said at, like, a girl's trip or something. Like,
But not a specific character,
No,
but
no.
more like one-liners, and you're
Yeah.
like, oh, think
Also,
Kira would
like,
say
I
that.
love, because if I'm on TikTok and I see, like, a Steel Magnolias video, I'm, like, sending it to Lila.
yeah.
Like, I'm
That's
like,
so
"We'll
great."
get this," and I'm like, Lila.
Yes.
I love that. Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, you were just like, oh, you know, who would you say I am?
Oh, I think she would think you're Truby.
Truly.
I love that.
Oh, but I like the way you qualified that. Who do you think I am? Who do you think I am?
I think you
Yeah, who do you think I am?
probably Truby. Yeah.
What a compliment.
Yeah.
That is a compliment. I'm like, no
any of them
way.
are I'd be happy
Yeah.
to be any of them.
Honestly,
Yeah, right?
Honestly,
You
even
wanna be the
Weezer.
surly?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, even Weezer. Everyone
I
identifies
love
me as
Weezer.
Weezer.
No,
and you're
no,
like,
no.
and even
I'm
Weezer.
thinking of the positive because
I
I
love
love her.
Weezer.
I love her. I love her
She's
spunk.
fiercely
Fiercely
loyal.
loyal.
And that's
she doesn't
you.
take shit.
Yes,
Yeah.
she is no nonsense, but she's also got clearly got this
Brutally
sweetest, kindest, like soul about her.
Yes.
That
There's
Yes,
a
Anel,
she
I
likes
pray.
to cover
Yes,
it over.
Anel,
She don't
I
want people
pray.
to see, but she mushy
but
mushy.
she's there.
And I love that about
You're
Mick.
there. It's in there, Michaela. I know it is.
I love that. My favorite thing about Mick is the ride or die, and that's a lot like Beth. That what did they say? I'm like, ooh, if
do I need
I
her?
know exactly who to call if I need somebody to be like, oh, we're gonna. I'm like, yeah, man, that's right.
Sweetie.
We ride at dawn.
Ride it
Ride
on.
it on.
You
I
tell
love
me
that
when.
too. Like, whose car are we going to take?
Well, ladies, thank you for your time.
Yes.
Thank you for
It
having
is
us.
over
So
already.
Any,
much, I
any
know.
parting thoughts before we close
Yeah.
I
out?
thought you had a list of questions on your
We like to
waitress
keep it,
pad.
These,
keep it
that's
simple.
that's the statistics, and I'll do that at
Exactly.
do that at a separate time. It's just
I'm
like
gonna
all the
care.
stats.
She's got my hair.
Any
Well, when I
parting
had hair.
comments?
I will say that I'm just so grateful for the family that we have. And I mean, this is all I've talked about is family, but that's like what's the most important thing to me. That's why I'm so excited to be moving to Virginia. Even
Don't say
though
where.
technically, yeah, I'm not gonna dox myself.
No one listens to our
My
podcast.
address is. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I see so much of my family in this movie to the point where when I'm feeling homesick, this is what I go to.
Oh, I love that.
That's powerful.
And so it's just, and you know, over time I will keep showing it to the people I love and hopefully being like, yeah, well, this is like exactly how I felt with my family growing up, and this is exactly how I feel with them now. And it's a great constant to have as you're growing and changing, because I saw it at the beginning of high school and now I'm 22, almost 22, and I see it differently every time I watch it.
That's so good.
And just to have that grow with you and be like, oh, I felt this way about this movie when I was younger because I didn't have this life experience, but now I have it, and I can understand the complexity of like how they work through it in this movie. And it's just great. It's just a good movie. Like, it really is just a good movie to sit down.
Checks
and
off all the
watch.
boxes.
Yeah, it's great.
It's good. That is true though, about how depending on what phase of life you're in, when you watch it, you take something different away from it.
Yeah.
And
Because there's the different generations.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's too, Lila, when you share it with somebody, I think it's such a, like, you don't just share it with anybody. Like, you're careful because you want them to appreciate it as much as you.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would almost take offense. If somebody didn't love it as much as I do, I'd be like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I told
how
my
do you not
roommate.
like
We can't be friends anymore.
Yeah,
I
right.
told my roommate if she didn't like it, she's not allowed to tell me.
Exactly.
But she loved it. We
Yeah.
were sitting in the living room. It was like around final season last semester. We were sitting in the living room. I was hardcore working on some art project that was taking me forever, and I was like, I need my comfort movies right now because I've been working on this like stitching for 7 hours. And I was like, I'm gonna watch Steel Magnolias. You can watch with me. Like, it's great. And she came in, like, I think 10 minutes into me watching it, and she sat. Wasn't expecting to sit down and watch for the rest of it, but she sat and watched the rest of it with me. And we would point at, like, things that Weeza did, and she'd be like, oh, yeah, that's me. Like, that's
Yeah.
We'll be
Yeah.
like, that's me, that's you. That's my favorite thing to do with a movie, too, is when you're
Yes.
sitting with your friends and be like, oh, that's so you.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
just see yourself in that movie,
Relate to
whether
it.
it's, like, really deep or just like really silly and stupid. So it was really great to have that experience with my roommate, and I'm gonna miss her when I move.
What's your name?
Olivia.
Shout out to Olivia.
Hi, Olivia. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl.
We love her.
Anything else? Any last words?
Famous last words.
Just
words?
that I love y'all.
No,
Yeah.
I love you
More
guys.
than my luggage.
I love you more than my
Thank you
luggage.
for letting us. Okay. Thank you for letting us be a participate with
I know,
this.
it's exciting.
You guys are
It's
so
such an
fun.
honor to
You're our
be-
first guest.
Oh my goodness.
Jess, and y'all were so perfect, and we love
love
you
it.
so much.
It's
We
the launch
love
of
you.
Lisa and Mai's new podcast.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, we gotta go.
Yeah.
Last night